clean those turtles.
Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Are you gonna join me, little one?
Also, later I will be. Why is it so heavy? No. But later I am gonna start packing out my bag.
All right. Okay. You need to move over. Hello again. My name is Emma, and welcome to Faith Night Friday. Now you can see my head. Was working on that last week, and I couldn't understand why you couldn't see my head, and it was because I had the camera tilted down. And I'm over here trying everything I can to use the view side of the camera, and I'm like, dummy, just pick up the camera. Duh. Okay, so let's get on this. So we are on chapter 8 on Samuel. We're doing Samuel, when the people asked for a king. But first, before we get on that, let's just sing a little song that I remember singing years ago. And these are just, I think I sang one different one, Entering His Gates with Thanksgiving in His Heart. But there was a few other ones that I always sing all the time. And this one goes like this. This is the day that the Lord has made, I will rejoice and be glad in it, This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. So then I have two other ones, but I'll sing those other two the next 2 times when I do Faith Night Friday. They're just old songs, and they're not, like the Christian songs you hear today. Although there are some nice ones, but when you really go back and you start singing those songs that weren't made from a so-called these days Christian bands, I don't know, it just, you could just feel the Spirit flowing in you. You could just feel it. It just wakes you up. So that's what I'm going to start singing these little songs. And I'm going to try to see if I can find some more old ones too. So, like I said, I have 2 more. And one of them was from McPherson. What was her first name? Something McPherson. And she was a very a Christian prophetic woman in the early 1900s. I forgot her first name, but I'll find out and I'll let you know. But she has this cute little song that she sang, and I'll sing you that one next Friday. Okay, so let's jump in. So we are on the people asked for a king. We had already finished chapter 7. So we're on 1 Samuel 8. So when Samuel grew old, he made his sons judges in Israel. The older son was named Joel, and the younger one was Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba, but they did not follow their father's example. They were interested only in making money. So they accepted bribes and did not decide cases honestly. Then all the leaders of Israel met together, went to Samuel in Ramah, and said to him, "Look, you are getting old, and your sons don't follow your example. So then appoint a king to rule over us, so that we will have a king, as other countries have." Samuel was displeased with Samuel. Where was I? I just lost it. Samuel was displeased. Why do I keep missing the boat? Okay. Samuel, wait a minute, I'm looking. Okay, Samuel was displeased with their request for a king. So he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord said, "Listen to everything the people say to you. You are not the one they have rejected. I am the one they have rejected. I am the one they have rejected as their king. Ever since I brought them out of Egypt, they have turned away from me and worshipped other gods. And now they are doing to you what they have always done to me. So then, listen to them, but give them." I am so sorry. It happens every time. Every time. Oh, hi, Enrique. I'm doing good. Oh, that's good. I'm so happy. But yeah, but I think for me, I think it will be for the best bet for him. For him. Yeah. Even that's what I thought too, but at least everybody is trying to keep him calm, trying to keep him relaxed. I know he's on edge right now, but
Who the heck are you? Who are you, bro?
yeah. Listen, I'm in the middle of something. Can I call you back? Okay, I'll call you in a little bit. All right, bye-bye. Okay, so yeah, I'll call him back. So, all right, I brought them out of Egypt. They have turned away from me and worshipped other gods. And now they are doing what they have always done to me. So listen to them, but give them strict warnings and explain how their kings will treat them. Samuel told the people who were asking him for a king everything that the Lord has said to him. "This is how your king will treat you," Samuel explained. "He will make soldiers of your sons, and some of them will serve in the war chariots, others in cavalry, and others will run before his chariots. He will make some of them officers in charge of thousands of men, and others in charge of 50 men. Your sons will have to plow his fields. Your son will have to plow his fields, harvest his crops, and make his weapons and equipment for his chariots. Your daughters will have to make perfume for him and work as the cooks and his bakers. He will take your best fields, vineyards, and olive groves and give them to his officials. He will take 10th of your grain and of your grapes for his court, officers, and officials. He will take your servants and your best cattle and donkeys and make them work for him. He will take 1/10 of your flock and yourselves, and yourselves will become his slaves. When that time comes, you will complain bitterly because of your king, whom you yourself chose, but the Lord will not listen to your complaints." The people paid no attention to Samuel, but said, "No, we want a king, so that will be like other nations, so that we will be like other nations, with our own king to rule us and to lead us out to war and to fight our battles." Samuel listened to everything they said, and then went and told it to the Lord. The Lord answered, "Do what they want, and give them a king." Then Samuel told all the men of Israel to go back home. That was true. He tried to warn them. He goes, "Look, the king they didn't want was me. I was their king, but they rejected me, and they're doing the same thing they did to me to you." So let's see what Samuel 7 has to say. So this is a commentary. So 1 Samuel 7, cleaning up. The ark had been returned to Israel, but Israel had not returned to the Lord. Right? So Samuel called them to repentance. They put away their forgotten gods and then met at Mizpah to renew their covenant with the Lord. For years, God had been preparing Samuel for this strategic ministry, and he rescued his nation. Looking up, the Philistines thought that the assembly at Mizpah was this is Samuel 7. These phone calls are getting confused me. So let me start over. It's Samuel 8. It is possible to be faithful in ministry and choose and clothe your life in disappointment. That is what happened to Samuel. He was disappointed in his sons. They were not able to carry on their father's ministry because they did not follow their father's godly example. Eli's sons yielded to the lusts of the flesh, while Samuel's sons were lovers of money. He was disappointed in the nation, for they wanted a king. They used Samuel's son as their excuse, but the real reason was their lack of faith in God. They wanted to be like the other nations and have a king to lead them out to battle. Samuel's warnings about what the king would do made no impressions on the people. Note the repetition of the phrase, "he will take." He was disappointed in King Saul, who rebelled against God and forfeited the crown. Much that Samuel worked and prayed for seems to have turned out differently from what he expected. And yet he remained faithful to the Lord to the end. And he remained faithful to the Lord to the end. Leaders who are faithful to God may not always appear successful to men. And that's true too. Sometimes I feel like we have so many, prophets and ministers or pastors and people out there who think they're faithful to God, but they're not. And it's more like they're not even doing what they should be doing. They're more like faithful to themselves, not to God's people. Or they might look like they're successful to us, but they're really not. And they might have it all, and they might be preaching a sermon, but they're not really leading by the right example, if that makes any sense. And we're always falling for it. So you got to be careful in that aspect. So let's just think about that one, and let's just throw in, because like I said, I had been reading Psalms. I'm going to get another piece of paper. Okay. I have been reading Psalms. Now, so let's just throw Psalms in there. So, that's what we're going to do every week. We are going to read a Psalm. And I think I read them, the first Psalm. So, I'm just going to write down Psalm so I can know which one I left off on. So right now we're Psalm, and then we'll go to 3. So this Psalm, Psalms chapter 2. Why do the nations plan rebellion? Why do people make their useless plots? Oh, for Christ's sake. Their kings revolt, their rulers plot together against the Lord and against the king he chose. Let us free ourselves from their rule, they say. Isn't that something how that kind of like coincides with what we're reading? They say, let us throw off their control. Let us throw off their control. From his throne in heaven, the Lord laughs and mocks their feeble plans. Then he warns them in anger and terrifies them with his fury. Oh, on Zion, my sacred hill, he says, I have installed my king. I will announce says the king, what the Lord has declared. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask, and I will give you all the nations, the whole earth, and the whole earth will be yours. You will break them with an iron rod, and you will shatter them in pieces like a clay pot. Now listen to this warning, you kings. Learn this lesson, you rulers of the world. Serve the Lord with fear, tremble and bow down to him, or else his anger will be quickly aroused, and you will suddenly die. Happy are all who go to him for protection. So, and that's what I need. I definitely need his protection. My whole family needs his protection. So, praise God for that. So I'm going to put this here so I can remember which psalm we read. Okay, guys. So I have to leave because evidently people are texting me, and I have a little tiny crisis on my hands, but I know it's nothing that the Lord cannot solve. So I'm just keeping everything that's happening in my life in prayer, and I'm just hoping that everything is for a reason in God's sight, and that it is all going to work out for good. It's for a reason. So, like a fish in the sea, so glad you caught me, and we will catch you next Friday. Bye-bye.